This conference will now be recorded.
Okay guys, let's get started. So in today's session, we will discuss about SCCM site roles. Yesterday we discussed about SCCM site servers. So there are three site servers, right? Which are they? CAS, Central Administration Site, Primary Site, and
Primary.
Secondary Site, right? These are the three sites in SCCM. All of them needs database, okay? Whether you have primary site or secondary site or central administration site, all need separate database. All can be installed on Windows Server. Which one? 2008, right? Windows Server
2012. Greater than or equal to 2012.
2012 or
Yeah.
greater.
Yeah.
2012 R2 16 19. Okay, so the hierarchy is like this. Central will be sitting on the top, primary, and then secondary. This is optional, this is mandatory, and this is optional. So primary is mandatory, but CAS and secondary, they are optional. Okay, the limit: CAS can support up to 825,000 devices, client computers. Primary side can support up to 175,000 client computers. Secondary side can support up to 15,000. All clear? So we discussed about these things yesterday in details, right? Now we are gonna discuss about site roles. So what are the roles in SCCM? So these are some of the roles in SCCM, okay? Management point, distribution point, software update point, fallback status point. We'll discuss these roles in details one by one, okay? Now let's talk about management point. What is a management point? Okay, what is a management point? Suppose you go to um, the hospital, right? Or you go to hotel, right? Then in hotel, what do you have? You have a reception counter, right? Somebody will be there. So when you reach
Yes.
there, they will guide you that you have to go here in this floor or in this room, whatever. So the guidance you can get it from the reception counter, right? Similarly, you have management point in SCCM. Management point is what? It is a communication bridge between server. Make a note of it, guys. Okay, communication bridge between SCCM server and client. You have SCCM server, and in every machine you need to install client, right? Client is installed in all these machines. These are computers, so we have to install client. The client will not be talking directly to server, okay? The client will be talking through management point. So management point is a communication bridge between the server and the client. All clear, everyone? Good. That's a communication bridge between the server and the client. The second thing is devices. All the clients, whatever the clients you have, let's say you have 10,000 clients. For example, you have 10,000 or 20,000 computers. So those 10,000 or 20,000 client computers, they will be taking the policies from management point. So management point has all the policies. So it is also called as policy keeper. Management point is what? It is policy keeper. It keeps all the policies, whatever the policies you create the policy from here, and then you dump the policy on management point. Okay, every time you create policy what, like instruction. Let's say you have to install Firefox in 10 machines, that is a policy. If you have to deploy a operating system, that's a policy. If you have to install Microsoft Office, that's a policy, right? So you create policy here from server, and then you send the policy to the management point, and the client will take the policy from the management point itself. Client will take policy from where? From the management point. Is it clear now, guys? Everyone? Any question with this management point? Hmm? Give me 1 minute. So first point is it's a communication bridge. Second point, it's a policy keeper, and client will download the policy from here. Client will take the policy from here. So as I mentioned in the second point, this one, devices take all the policies from management point. So client or devices takes policies from management point. Okay. Next point is it collect inventory. So from all these computers, right, the client will send the inventory data. So client will send the inventory to management point. Okay, the client will send the inventory to the management point. Client will send. So whatever the hardware configuration and software configuration of this computer, client is gonna send those data to the management point. So it is an inventory collector. It collects inventory from devices. And what it will do after collecting inventory? After it collects the inventory, it is gonna send those inventory to the database. Okay, clear? It is gonna send the inventory to the database. Then it is a mandatory role. You have to have a management point, otherwise the client communication will not happen. The server and client cannot talk to each other. Okay, and where will you install this? You can install this on primary side, you can install this on secondary side, or any other additional server. Okay, you can install management point. So suppose you have SCCM primary side, on the same server you can install management point on the same server. Okay, or you have secondary side, for example this is your secondary side, you can install management point here. Or you can build additional server, separate Windows server, separate server, and on that machine you install management point. Any question in this one? Vijay, clear?
Kashif, for example, if we build a separate server and if we install management over there, again, do we need to build a database for that particular server?
Sorry.
Suppose if we build a new server for management point, okay.
Mm,
Again,
mhm.
do we need to build a DB for that one?
No. Same DB
No.
can be utilized.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So point number one is it is a communication bridge between the client
Okay.
and the server. Point number two, it is an
Thank
inventory collector. It collects inventory. Point number three, it is a policy keeper. It keeps all the policies, right?
you.
Point number four, it devices takes the policy from here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the client, whatever the clients you have, the
Mm-hmm.
client takes policies from management point, right? Then point number 5 is point number 5, it is going to dump the data into the database. So it dumps the collected data in database, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then point number 6, where will you install this? It's a mandatory role, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And where will you install? You can install this on primary side, you can install this on secondary side, or any other additional Windows server, okay?
Mm-hmm.
This is the most important component in SCCM. If this is down, then most of the things will be down, okay? This is the functionality which you must install. Now, distribution point. What do you mean by distribution point? Distribution point works like an ATM, guys. Suppose you are in Mumbai, okay, and you need to withdraw cash. What will you do? You will go to local ATM, okay, and then you can get cash from here. Understood? Suppose you go to London tomorrow and you need to withdraw cash. Again, you go to local nearby ATM and you can withdraw cash. Okay, clear? Similarly, the machines which are located in each region, let's say some of the machines, for example, these 3 machines or these 300, for example, these 300 machines are located in London, right? These machines are located in Chennai, okay? And these machines are located in Mumbai, and these machines are located in Hyderabad, okay? Either 200 machines or 2000, for example, 2000 machines. Here you have 300, here you have 3000 machines, and here Mumbai has 5000 machines, for example. Now, in every location, what we do, we keep a distribution point, okay? We keep a distribution point. So like this, DP for Mumbai, okay? All the content will be present here, you know. From SCCM server, we will dump the content. Content means what? The files, software files, application files, update files, operating system files. So the content will be present and the client will download the content from here. Mumbai client will download from Mumbai DP. Similarly, you will have DP for Hyderabad. So Hyderabad computer will download from Hyderabad. You will have DP for Chennai. So the Chennai computer will download from Chennai DP. Then you will have DP in London. The computers in London will download the content from London DP. So from server, SCCM server, you will dump the content to the distribution point, and the client will be taking the content from the distribution point, the local distribution point. Any question in this one? Hmm? Meena, clear?
Discussion. Yeah.
So it is what? It is a content storage. Okay, it is point number 1, it is a content storage, right? Point number 2, the client will take the content from distribution point. So point number 2, clients download contents from nearby distribution point. Okay, they will, suppose the client is in London, they will not download it from Mumbai, they will download from London. Client in Chennai, they will download it from Chennai DP. Okay. Point number 3, it's a mandatory role. You must install this, otherwise the deployment of content will not happen, right? The client will not be able to download the content. Point number 4 is you can install this on primary site, secondary site, or any other Windows server, guys. Just like, I told you about management point, you can also install this on primary, secondary, or any other Windows server. Sorry, you can install this on Windows client as well, on Windows 10. Not only on server, you can also install this on Windows 10 too. Clear? Petras, clear? Any question from your end? All good? Can't hear you. Now, anyone worked on a patch deployment here?
Yeah.
You worked on patch deployment. So how the patches are deployed? Hmm?
When Microsoft releases the patches, so they are added to SCCM, and depending on the window that we assign, the package gets downloaded by the client, each client, and we accept the offer manually or automatically it will run, and depending on the status we monitor.
Right. That's the right process. Um, but in the backend, we have some configurations. So, for example, as you mentioned that Microsoft releases patches on every second Tuesday, right? So Microsoft is gonna release updates on every second Tuesday. This is Microsoft update server. Okay, on this server, Microsoft is releasing updates. Every second Tuesday they are doing it. Okay, they are releasing every second Tuesday of the month, every month, not every second Tuesday, I mean every month, second Tuesday. Okay,
Yeah.
so they will release updates. So this is on internet, it is publicly available, so anybody wants to take updates, they can take it. But how we do it in company is we install WSUS, Windows Server Update Services. We build a server, and that server will communicate with Microsoft Update Server on the internet, and from there it is gonna bring updates. Okay, how much updates? Let's say only the updates which are needed, not all of them. Here we have, for example, 10,000 updates, but we will bring only the updates which are needed. For example, only 100 updates. Okay, now these 100 updates, we need to scan these machines, whatever the machines we have. For example, you have 10,000 machines in London. Okay, 2,000 machines in Mumbai. Understood? So in each region you will have computers. So you need, the WSUS is going to scan all the machines. For example, there are 20,000 devices across the regions. Mumbai, London, Chennai. So 20,000 devices are there. Now WSUS is going to scan these machines against these 100 updates. Okay. And then it is gonna, after scanning, it is gonna get the scan report, and save it in the database. WSUS is gonna save the scan report in the database. WSUS also has a database, okay, a separate database for WSUS. Then what you do is you need to some companies, they are also deploying updates from here, from WSUS. They do the deployment too, but we will do it from SCCM. So what we will do, we will integrate these information into SCCM. So WSUS can get integrated into SCCM. How it will be done? It will be done through this one. This role is there in SCCM, which helps to integrate WSUS into SCCM. Then the benefit is you can deploy updates to these devices from SCCM. Rest everything will be done by WSUS. WSUS will still be there. You can't remove WSUS. So it will be working in the backend to do all these tasks, like to communicate with Microsoft Update Server and there bring the updates from there and then scan all these machines. WSUS will be there. But in order to deploy updates from SCCM, you need to integrate WSUS into SCCM. So this role is it is required to integrate WSUS into SCCM. Second, it is required to deploy updates from SCCM to client computers. So all these client computers, you can deploy updates from SCCM to these machines. Okay, clear? Clear or not, guys? So software update point is to integrate WSUS into SCCM. It is required to deploy updates from SCCM to client computers. It is an optional role, guys. It is not mandatory, optional. Why optional? Because some people are deploying updates from WSUS itself. They are not doing it from SCCM. So in case if you don't want to do it from SCCM, you can also do it from WSUS itself. Okay. Now, where will you install this? You can install this on primary site, secondary site, or any other Windows server. Clear, Bala? Vijay?
Yes.
Yes, Kashyap. Clear.
I mean, you said that it's optional, right? If you want to deploy it directly via WSUS also, we can deploy. So, in
Yes.
what conditions when people take a decision to deploy it only via SCCM or have a software update point installed? Any special conditions while it is needed?
There is no special condition as such. The only thing is when you purchase license for SCCM, right? When you install SCCM in your company, you want to do everything from SCCM. You don't want to do some of the things from SCCM and some of the things from WSUS. Okay, instead of doing multiple instead of login to WSUS separately for updates and for application SCCM, rather you integrate WSUS into SCCM. So it is better to deploy everything from one umbrella. So SCCM is like one umbrella wherein you can deploy application plus updates plus OS. Okay.
All
So
right,
when you
Kashyap.
have SCCM, then you should deploy through SCCM instead of WSUS. And that's what people are doing it. Okay.
Okay.
This is not important, so I'm gonna skip this one. This is retired. This application catalog website point is retired. That is no more there in SCCM, so I'm gonna skip that one. SMS provider. What is SMS provider, guys? SMS provider is a communication bridge between SCCM server and database server. Got it? So it is what? It is a communication bridge between SCCM and database. Second point is it's a mandatory role. You must install this. Without this, the SCCM and database cannot talk to each other. You can't even install SCCM. Okay, you will not be able to install SCCM without SMS provider. It's a mandatory role. Point number 3, it converts WMI, as I mentioned here. It converts WMI query into SQL query and feeds into the database. So SCCM talks in WMI query. SCCM speaks WMI language, and the database speaks SQL language. So both cannot talk to each other. So we need one translator. So it is what? It is a translator or interpreter, right? Which is gonna convert the WMI query language into SQL query language and then feeds into the database. Okay. Point number 4, where will you install? You can install this on primary side, secondary side, or you can install this on database server or any other Windows server. Okay, Meena, clear?
Question.
I hope you guys are making a note of it, right? For each role. So that is SMS provider, guys. Then you have asset intelligence synchronization point. Asset intelligence synchronization point is needed to categorize software. Okay, to categorize software. Suppose in your company's computer, for example, there are 10,000 computers. So in each computer, some applications are installed. So in total, let's say 50,000 softwares are there. 50,000 software in all those 10,000 machines. The total number of applications. So those applications, what you have in all the machines, it can be categorized. How it will be categorized? Like this. So SCCM is going to categorize those software. Some fall under browser category, some fall under player category, some fall under database category, and some of them fall under developer app category. So it is required to categorize software. Then it does inventory and manage license as well. So it will help you to manage license as well. For example, you purchase license, Adobe Acrobat professional license, 1,000 license you purchased. Okay, how many? 1,000. Now you start giving license to the users. So you will have a dashboard free and use in use. Okay, let's say 900 free and 100 in use. So those 100 computer information, you can get it where the license is being utilized. So asset intelligence synchronization point is gonna help you to get those data where the license is being utilized. It does the inventory. Okay. Point number 3 is where will you install this? On primary site, secondary site, or any other Windows server? And it is an optional role, guys. It's not mandatory. Okay. Clear? Vijay, Meena?
Yes, Kashyap.
So it is to categorize software. It does inventory plus manage license. It can be installed on primary, secondary, or any other server, and it is an optional role in SCCM. Endpoint protection. So in every machine now we have Windows Defender, right? Windows Defender in all Windows Server and Windows 10 machines, right? So Windows Defender is there in all these machines. Now we can control Windows Defender through SCCM. You know how the policy, how Windows Defender is gonna um, scan the machine, what it will do when it finds any virus, what will it do when it has to scan, like quick scan or full scan the machine. So all those things you can define through SCCM. This is the role for that, endpoint protection point role, and it is required to install and manage antivirus on target machines. It is an optional role, guys. And where will you install? You can install this on primary site, secondary site, or any other Windows server. This role will help you to manage your Windows Defender in servers as well as Windows 10 machines. But it is an optional role because people are using third-party software like Symantec, Trend Micro, Norton, instead of using the Windows Defender antivirus. Is it clear, guys? Bala,
Yes.
okay. Then you have a reporting services point. Reporting services point it is required to connect to the database. Database has a report server, and from there it will be able to get the reports. Basically, all our reports are present here in the database server. So in order to get the reports, you need to install this reporting services point. So reporting services point will help you to integrate the report into SCCM. So instead of we going to the database, we can access the report from here, from the SCCM console itself. In the backend, it will connect with the database, but you can access the reports from SCCM console itself. So basically, it is to connect to the report server. This reporting services point will help you to access the reports. Plus, it is a mandatory role, guys. You must install this, because if you don't install, you will not be able to get reports. Third thing is, it can be installed only on reporting services point, can only be installed on database server. Okay. Any question? Anyone? Then you have a service connection point. Service connection point is to keep your SCCM up to date. It is required to keep your SCCM up to date. It connects with Microsoft Update Server, right? And brings the updates from there. Which update? SCCM related updates, not the general update. For example, currently you installed SCCM 2002, but Microsoft already released 2006 and 2010. Microsoft has released here in the update server. So this will communicate with Microsoft Update Server, find out SCCM service connection point will communicate with Microsoft Update Server, and then we'll find out what all updates are there. So 2006, 2010, the latest one. So then we will be able to install 2010 or the latest one, and then it will get upgraded from 2002 to 2010. So it is to required to update your SCCM from old version to the latest version. Understood? Clear? That's the first point. So point number one, it is needed to upgrade SCCM server. Okay. Point number two, it is needed to connect with it is needed to connect with Azure services. Instead of Intune, now we have Azure Cloud Services. Azure Cloud Services. So point number two is it is needed to integrate Azure Cloud Services in SCCM. Okay. In order to integrate some of the cloud feature of Azure, like Azure Active Directory or Azure Tenant or Azure co-management, a cloud management gateway. So all those things are present here in the cloud. So service connection point will help you to integrate some of the features from Azure into SCCM. It can be installed on, so you can install this on CAS server. Service connection point can be installed on central administration side and primary side. Okay. On two servers, you can install service connection point and on CAS and primary. Okay. Now state migration point, it is required while migration of operating system. It is needed to capture user profile. For example, let's say Vijay is using this computer, right? For like 2 years. Vijay has his documents and favorites and other important files here on this Windows 7 machine. Now Vijay is gonna get a new machine, that is Windows 10. He will get Windows 10 because this machine cannot get upgraded due to some hardware complexity or hardware failure or something like that. Hardware compatibility, sorry. So he's gonna get a new machine, Windows 10, for example. So what we will do, we will capture user data. Before we format the machine, we will capture all these data, and then we will restore everything here on Windows 10 machine. So whatever the files which we had there on Windows 7 machine, those files will come back here to Windows 10. It is an optional role, guys. It can be installed on primary side, secondary side, or any other Windows server. Clear, everyone? Petras, Meena?
Yes, Kashif. I have a doubt with respect to service connection point. Is it optional or mandatory?
That is optional. If you don't want to upgrade your SCCM or don't want to integrate Azure features, you don't install this. It is an optional.
Okay.
So we have talked about few roles and features, right? Sorry, a few SCCM site roles. These are the roles of SCCM we just discussed. Now tell me which is mandatory, management point, mandatory or optional, guys?
Mandatory.
Distribution point,
Mandatory.
software update point, huh? Optional,
Sir,
not mandatory. Okay. SMS provider,
It's mandatory.
asset intelligence synchronization point,
Optional.
endpoint protection,
Optional.
reporting services point,
mandatory.
this one,
Optional.
Optional.
the last one.
Optional.
Okay. Fallback status point is also optional, and these two roles, application catalog, website point, and web service, they are no more there in SCCM. They have been retired. The SCCM discontinued these roles. I mean, Microsoft discontinued these two roles. Okay. Yesterday, I'm getting background noise from Madhu. Put yourself on mute. Okay, yesterday I gave assignment to go through those articles. Did anyone uh, read those articles? No one? Meena, Vijay, Petras? Okay, guys, you have to go through those articles today so that you will get a clear picture, more understanding about the site and site roles. Yesterday we discussed about sites, and today we discussed about site roles. These are the components inside SCCM. Okay. Any question before we wrap it up? No question. Okay. Yeah. One more thing before we go. Now, who will do the local setup? Now, who has this configuration for local setup? Hmm? Anyone or no one? Hmm?
I have.
Mukesh, you have okay configuration. Okay, Mukesh. Anyone else?
Sir, but I have 8 GB RAM. It is possible in my laptop.
And what is the processor?
i5
RAM 8 GB. And
only.
SSD or the spinning disk, the old one, hard disk.
An old one, sir.
Okay, so I think you should go on cloud because it will give you slowness a lot. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So Mukesh is the only one for local lab. For other people, you go on cloud, right? Azure Cloud Data Center. So
Yeah.
this is gonna give you 30 days free trial from day of subscription. So tomorrow or today, you you create your subscription, guys. I'm gonna send you one email or on WhatsApp. I will send you the details. You have to create your subscription. Okay. Okay. So this is the one. Let me copy and send that on the chat window. Okay, so I sent on the chat window, guys. You have to complete this task before tomorrow's session. Okay, for Azure Cloud Data Center, you need to go to this website and then you create new account. Then you go to Azure free trial website and click on start free. Log in with the new account you created, put your details and verify your phone number, and then it will ask you for credit card details. So you need to enter your credit card just for verification. They will not charge you anything. Okay, they will just verify it, and 30 days trial will get activated from tomorrow, or if you do it today, whatever it is. So you can do it today or tomorrow, but before the session. Okay, so 30 days trial will get started. Understood? That's Microsoft website. You can trust. You don't have to worry about this credit card details, guys. They are not going to charge anything. So that's the default feature. If you log into Azure or AWS or Google Cloud, all ask credit card, okay, for verification. Any question? You guys will be able to keep it ready? Everyone? Meena?
Yep.
Yeah.
Vijay?
Yes.
Katraz?
Yes,
Okay.
Kashyap.
So take a photo of this one, or I have already sent the step on chat window, guys. I will send it on WhatsApp too. Make sure you complete that Azure subscription today. Also, those who have not sent your email address, send your email address on the WhatsApp group chat so that I can add you in the Google Drive. Okay. Okay, guys, we'll meet tomorrow. Any question before we wrap it up?
No.
Okay. Thank you, guys. I hope the session was informative. We'll meet tomorrow. Thanks. Bye-bye.